Gamble now, and he's there to protect the inside. But around the basket, he's very tough. If you don't pay attention to him, he slammed home a Leitner miss recently. He's currently the second leading shot blocker in the NBA as well, as opponents are finding out. And given any room underneath, why it's an automatic 2 points for Mutombo. This season, his numbers are active, over 12.
New York Knicks. The head coach of the Hawks is Lenny Wilkins. The assistant coaches Dick Helm, Bill Hanslick, and Stan Albeck. The trainer is Joe O'Toole. And now for the Hawks starting lineup. At guard at 6'8" from Michigan State, number 8, Steve Smith. At guard at 6'1" from Oklahoma, number 10, Mookie Blaylock. At forward at 6'11" from Duke, number 32, Christian Laettner. At forward at 6'8" from St. Mary's of Texas, number 42, Henry James. And at center at 7'2" from Georgetown, number 55, Dikembe Mutombo. Ken Norman and Donnie Boyce are injured and will not play.
Game plan defensively be against Childs and Houston.
The key to them is getting a lot of pressure on them so they can't get into their plays. You know, they're new. It's hard when you're new and you have two guys not play with each other for a couple of years. And me and Mookie went through the same situation. So we're going to try to come out and pressure them, make them get the ball up, and make some of us make decisions like Oakley.
Steve Smith also hurt the Knicks last year in those 2 wins the Hawks had over the Knicks. 25, 29 points in a couple of games against the Knicks. He's 6'8". He will be a very tough matchup now. A good challenge for Allen Houston. 2 big point guards going at it tonight.
And there is Allen Houston, who again had his difficulties against his former team, the Detroit Pistons, although came out more aggressively, finished 2 of 7 from the field in early foul trouble, which set him back. That the follow-up to the terrific game he had Friday in Philadelphia, 32 points, a Knick career high on Friday night. Interestingly, prior to the game, it came out that Chris Childs revved up Houston with a pep talk, looking to get him going.
Yes, he did. He was very, very direct with Allen Houston, telling him to keep shooting. That's his job. In fact, he got so vivid, Marv, he said he lost one of his shoes. Chris Childs said, stuck it in the butt, as he put it, yes, of Chris Childs. He said, you just keep shooting. You're too important to this team to get down on yourself and not be mentally into it.
The officials, Bob Delaney, Joe DeRosa, and Tim Donaghy. The Atlanta Hawks controlling the opening tip. Mookie Blaylock, played by Chris Childs. Christian Laettner guarded by Charles Oakley, and this is Steve Smith. Wanted a clear out, and a foul is called on Larry Johnson. Lenny Wilkins starting Henry James. In the last game against Charlotte, Willie Burton was the starter. Henry James, a guy who has been around 5 different NBA teams. He can shoot. He had a particularly good streak several years back as a member of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Laettner, and the Hawks with a 2-0 lead.
Laettner can't match Oakley physically, but at 6'11", he can shoot over him, which he just did. The reason Burton isn't starting now, and he started the last several games, is because he gives him 0 rebounding.
And here's Childs. Oakley with the rebound, a one-handed rebound for Charles. Now Steve Smith guarding Chris Childs. Mookie Blaylock on Allen Houston, and Patrick Ewing taking a swipe at Dikembe Mutombo. Did not like the hand check and called for a foul.
Well, another one of those long Georgetown relationships like Alonzo Mourning. Whenever these 3 play against each other, traditionally it's been a happy competitive situation, but we saw with Mourning and Ewing, it was very intense in their earlier meetings. And now tonight, Ewing starts off pretty tough.
3-point shot missed by Blaylock. Well, last night, Patrick Ewing and Dikembe Mutombo had dinner together, but obviously have not carried the goodwill onto the court, which you like to see. Because the other matchups in the past were soft. And as you mentioned, that's not the case with Alonzo Mourning. I don't think Pat Riley would permit that. He got into the head of of Mourning, and the two matchups between Ewing and Mourning have been very intense. Hawks 2, Knicks nothing. We're just underway. Now Smith looking to post up Houston. And he does.
That 6'8" size, it looks like that Smith has. He wants to put it to work, those extra 2 inches. Houston's going to have to step it up and be tough.
And Childs was pushed.
Particularly necessary tonight for Houston to play tough physically, because the man who spells him, John Starks, is a couple of inches shorter than Houston. So that would make that matchup with Smith very, very difficult for the Knicks, as it was last year.
Foul called on Henry James. Ewing putting the move on Mutombo. And Dikembe Mutombo has been on a good roll as of late. Last 5 games, he has averaged nearly 6 blocks per game. So always dangerous to go to the driving shot against Mutombo. It's the Hawks 4 and the Knicks 2. Oakley getting a piece of that dribble. Shot clock down to 3. Good pressure defense leading to the turnover.
Great matchup with Childs and Mookie Blaylock. They both play a very similar style of game, take great pride in their defense. Both former Nets, and they both can shoot the 3 very well.
Allen Houston. Blaylock pushing it back for Smith. Blaylock for 3. Leitner on the follow, and the Hawks with a 6-2 lead. Atlanta Hawks like the 3-point shot. In fact, they set an NBA record with 19 3-pointers in Dallas last Tuesday. And here comes Blaylock. Kind of a sluggish start for the Knicks. James gets inside, and looked like Oakley got a piece of it.
I'm distracted, Marv, by the silence here. It's a sellout again, and that's Leitner from 3-point range. Very quiet.
Hawks 9 and the Knicks 2, and Leitner has 7 of the 9 Atlanta points. Jeff Van Gundy wants a timeout. It's a 22nd timeout, so the Knicks with a very slow start. Less than 4 minutes gone by.
Well, Christian Leitner at 6'11", a man who comfortably shoots the 3. He's one of 7 members of the Hawks who are in double figures as far as 3-point makes this year. They shoot a lot of 3s. They've made now 191 of them for the season in 24 games. The Knicks have made 149 in 25 games, so they really feed off those. And interesting to see also 22 of the 24 opponents of the Hawks have been held under 100 points. This is a defensive-minded team thanks to Lenny Wilkens' presence. They only allow 86 points a game, 3rd in the NBA. Lenny always was a tough defender right from the start of his career. Has great hands.
And in the last 3 Atlanta wins, they have won by an average margin of 25 points. Philadelphia at Dallas, and game against New Jersey. They lost their last game. A steal right there by the combination of Leitner and Blaylock. Lost to Charlotte on Saturday night. That concluded a 5-game win streak. Travel is called on James. Hawks 9 and the Knicks 2.
James a little nervous now in his first start. Trying to do a lot in a short amount of time. He wants that starting role.
I was kind of puzzled. You went up to him before the game and said that you really enjoyed his books, and I that you like his writing. I mean, John, you know,
not the same guy, huh?
Ewing, and a loose ball foul is called. And Henry James picks up his second. Henry did say thank you to you, though.
He's a gentleman.
Larry Johnson will inbound. Ewing. One bounces Johnson. Beautifully done.
Boy, you don't see a play like that against a defensive-minded team. Give and go basketball. The most exciting play there is.
Larry Johnson coming off a strong game Saturday. In fact, 8 of his 15 points came down the stretch in the fourth quarter. Here's an open shot for James, who has a good touch. It's a 3 for James. The Hawks 12 and the Knicks 4. That is why Henry James is on the floor. Johnson off the double team gives it up. Knicks moving the ball well. Houston for 3. And now the crowd beginning to come to life. Nice ball movement by the Knicks. Hawks 12 and the Knicks 7. Smith fouled by Houston. And a timeout taken with 6:54 remaining in the first.
Look at the Marriott Marquis Sky Cam. Give and go basketball. Ewing sets up in the low post. Larry Johnson's man gets lost on the double team. That was Leitner, and he got no help as Larry Johnson drove in for that slam dunk off that nice pass from Ewing. The New York Marriott Marquis, Broadway's biggest hit.
Hawks with a 12-7 lead on the Knicks. 6:45 remaining in this first quarter. Mutombo still doesn't have the good post-up moves. Very awkward. Took the extra step and got away with it. That should have been a travel. You could hear the crowd react.
That was poorly executed. Mutombo was committed to shooting the ball. Ewing made him go out further and further.
Johnson played by Leitner with some help from James. Oakley for Childs and the open shot. It's a 3 for Childs, and the beautiful ball movement continues.
Oakley knew he wasn't in position to shoot even though he was under the basket.
Hawks by 2. Again, they isolate Smith against Houston. Steve Smith with a nice touch.
Boy, you couldn't ask more out of Houston on that. He really played him.
And on the turnover, Atlanta will get it back. The Hawks last year won 46 games, 46 and 36, tied for 4th in the Central Division with Detroit, a game behind Cleveland. And then in the playoffs, pulled off that surprise in the first round by beating Indiana. Smith again. They knocked off the Pacers 3-2 and then lost to Orlando in 5.
The challenge now for Houston is, can he play Smith a little physically? Maybe use a foul or 2. He's been in foul trouble throughout the season, which has taken him out of games, but he's got to do something to turn the momentum for Smith. Oh, Larry Johnson finding Oakley, who he's been looking for down low. Beautifully done.
Hawks 16 and the Knicks 12. Atlanta off to a good shooting start. 7 of 11 from the field. Blaylock handling against Childs.
Every time down court, the Hawks are playing 3-man basketball with 2 men on the weak side away from the ball.
Near steal by Smith. Open shot for Ewing. And the Hawk lead is 2.
Surprised at Mutombo. Not even going near Ewing. Disinterested.
Did not get back in time after that shot at the other end. 4.5 to go in this first quarter. Leitner changed his mind. Nice look, but Mutombo from Leitner, and the Hawks lead 18-14. The Knicks have won their last 2, 9 of the last 10, record of 18-7, and they have won 6 straight here at home after the problems in the early going. 10 up, 4 down at Madison Square Garden. Ewing way off, try to shake off the defense, and Blaylock bothered him from behind. Here's Blaylock on a pull-up, and the Hawks lead by 6.
Just shows you what imperfections result in with a good basketball team like the Hawks.
Well, Houston came off a pick. Again, beautifully done. The Knicks have been successful in freeing up Allen Houston. That's his second field goal. He's 2 out of 4. And a 3 for Henry James. The Hawks lead by 7.
James at 6'8" is shooting the ball like a 2-guard.
Henry James out of St. Mary's in Texas. Although He did sample several colleges and made the rounds after spending time with 5 different NBA teams. Also played with Sioux Falls in the CBA last year. Second foul committed by Patrick Ewing. Now Buck Williams will come on. Patrick Ewing discussing that last call with Tim Donaghy as he heads to the bench. Hawks 10 of 15 from the field, and the Knicks 7 of 12. So both clubs shooting well, and Atlanta's hit 3 of 5 from downtown. Willie Burton has come on for the first time for the Hawks.
Hawks are staying with that low post power of Steve Smith. Now Mutombo leaves the scene for Smith to operate.
Oh, Oakley pegs it to Childs, but Blaylock was right with him getting back. Now the matchup is Mutombo and Oakley staying on the outside. Shot clock at 7. Buck Williams guarded by Christian Laettner. Illegal defense called for the first time. And a timeout taken by Atlanta with 2:28 remaining in the first quarter. Multi-personalities here, you know.
I'm seeing double. Remember, when you're having good times with good friends, to drink responsibly, because friends know when to say when. A reminder from your friends at Budweiser. Well, Allen Houston missed his first couple, but he's gotten a touch going now. A pick by Oakley, some attempt by the Knicks to get him free, and the quick movement and the good passing got him that shot.
Hawks lead by 7 with 2 minutes 20 seconds to go in this first quarter. Laettner just went down, lost his balance. Johnson, and rebounded by Laettner. Mutombo guarded by Williams. Goes to the hook. Line drive hook shot attempted by Dikembe.
Well, he knew with the shorter Buck Williams on him, he could get a good look at the basket with that hook.
Now Houston off the fake against Smith. Mutombo tried to save it, stepped out of bounds. John Starks checking in, replacing Allen Houston. 5 points for Houston. And Mutombo will depart, replaced by Ivano Newbill, one-time member of the Detroit Pistons, second-year player from Georgia Tech. And Eldridge Rakesner, former Houston Rocket, is on the floor for the first time. He is guarding Chris Childs. Starks wasting no time, off the bench and pops the 3. Larry Johnson able to keep it alive.
Good work by Johnson, working against the taller Laettner.
Childs. Yes. Chris Childs able to curl his way off the screen and freed himself up. Hawks 23 and the Knicks 18. Down to a minute left in this first quarter.
Oakley fighting Laettner for position, fronting him. Now Laettner gets the ball. It's a one-on-one situation for him now.
Laettner forced into a difficult shot by Oakley. Starks. Yes. A 3 for Starks. And the Knicks have cut it to a 2-point Atlanta lead with 35 seconds to go in the quarter.
Starks always plays with great energy, but it seems the other night, Saturday, and here right now in the first minute of play, he's really turned on.
Blaylock. And we're down to 20 seconds. Knicks would like to hold for a final shot of the quarter. Well, Chris Childs nonchalantly walking it up. That was close to a 10-second violation. Hawks by 2. Down to 5 seconds in the quarter. Down to 3. Starks. Childs for 3. And that's the end of the first quarter. The Hawks 23 and the Knicks 21.
Buy this from you. Benjamin. How about $200 for Tickle Me Elmo? Can I have him?
Say no way.
All right. Can you show me how he works? Right here. You tickle him and he moves, right? You love him?
Whoa. You love that?
There you go. Marv, it's the hottest. And John, I'm sorry. You're going to have to get it another way.
I don't know, John. You know, that Al is persistent. He still may be able to finesse it out of the kid or take it from him.
I'm going to go up to 210, Marv.
Yeah. You've always been very generous in that way. Second quarter is underway. The Hawks with a 2-point lead on the Knicks. And the whistle against the Knicks offensive foul. Buck Williams called for pushing out with the left hand as he started the drive. John Wallace has checked in, so it's Wallace with Oakley and Williams up front. Childs and Starks in the backcourt. Oh, nicely done. Mookie Blaylock extends to a 25-21 Atlanta lead.
Tough for John Wallace to be at the end of that play. He wants playing time.
John Wallace did not play at all against the Pistons on Saturday. Here's Childs for 3. That is his second three-pointer. And the Hawk lead is now 1. So the Knicks are going to the three-point shot. And they are 4 of 8 from three-point land. Leitner. Spinning move by Leitner. And Oakley able to pick up that rebound. That's 7 rebounds for Charles Oakley. And the foul is called. Foul on Rick Kasner. Here comes Charlie Ward. He'll have to hold back at the scorer's table. Continue the stretching as the man who he will eventually replace, Chris Childs, is at the free throw line. The Knicks in the first quarter 9 of 18 from the field. Atlanta 10 of 19. The Hawks missing their last 4 shots and did not come up with a point the last 3.5 minutes of the first quarter.
Childs didn't get to the foul line Saturday against Detroit in that Knicks win, but he had another solid game. Good leadership, 15 points, shot the ball well in only 34 minutes, 6 of 12, 8 assists to lead the Knicks. Knicks had 27 assists Saturday.
Knicks and Hawks tied at 25. Blaylock putting moves on Childs, putting a move on Oakley, and draws the foul. What a beautiful series of moves with the ball by Mookie Blaylock. Oakley on the foul. And now Charlie Ward has come on for Chris Childs. Strong game for Childs. 9 points, 4 assists.
Blaylock stopping, starting, change of pace moves. And he just kept picking away until he found a path to the basket.
Mookie Blaylock in his 8th year out of Oklahoma last season. He was second in steals behind Gary Payton of Seattle. Offensively, the shooting has dropped off, only 40% from the field last season. And this year he's about 43%. That is also brought down because he shoots a great number of three-pointers. Wallace stripped by Leitner. And then Oakley's pass picked off. Blaylock protects the dribble so well. Now faces a double team. Blaylock for 3. Mookie Blaylock from downtown, and the Hawks with a 29-25 lead. So Blaylock has 8 points.
It was done so quickly, but Ivano Newbill set a nice pick for Blaylock.
Wallace. And Oakley got involved with Burton. A foul is called for Charles Oakley, his second. That's Steve Smith reporting back. And Mookie Blaylock will get a rest. 3-point shooting by Atlanta, 39% by Smith. Blaylock 43 and Rick Kasner 47. That is very fine shooting from 3-point range.
Yes, the Knicks seeing a lot of teams who shoot the three. Certainly last week, 2 looks at the Pistons certainly gets them ready defensively for this team.
Well, Patrick Ewing back on the floor. He sat out for 6 minutes. Hawks lead by 4. We are early in the second. Marv Albert, John Andres, Al Troutwick from Madison Square Garden. Smith able to get to the follow. And the hustle paid off. Steve Smith with a third opportunity, able to hit on a reverse finger roll.
Smith shot the ball. His man Starks went down toward the Knicks end. Smith went toward the basket. And that gave a 5-on-4 imbalance in favor of the Hawks, which turned into 2 points.
Jeff Van Gundy was upset about that last play. Calls for a timeout. 22nd timeout with 3 minutes gone by in the second quarter.
With a guy like Smith at 6'8", I mean, he's always dangerous with his height. You got the good bounce, too, but see, Starks wasn't in the picture. And then he kept digging as Patrick Ewing couldn't hold that rebound that he got. Here's another look at it now. You see Smith come back in, get the rebound, take the shot. Looks like Ewing has it. He got bumped. And then Smith stayed with the play and converted it into two points. Terrific hustle by Steve Smith.
Now they've changed to a full timeout.
Ball coverage you'll get with NBA League Pass on DirecTV. We've enlisted the help.
Along with Starks and Ward in a 3-guard set with Ewing and Buck Williams up front. Ewing off the series of fakes. Foul by Newbill. Ivano Newbill goes 6'11", 245 pounds. Played for the Pistons last year with Grand Rapids in the CBA and the second leading rebounder in the CBA. And he is now defending against Patrick Ewing, allowing Dikembe Mutombo to get a rest.
Newbill just found out, as most opponents of Ewing do, that without help, Ewing is going to get a good look at the basket. Nobody double teamed.
Hawks 31 and the Knicks 26. 8 minutes 45 seconds to go in the first half. Rick Kasner handling against Ward. Leitner. He played well by Williams. Shot clock at 4. And Smith had to force it. Here's Starks in the open floor. Pulls it up for 3. Yes. Well, apparently had the foot on the line. It's a 2-pointer for John Starks. He's upset with himself. Looking down at his shoes, he thought he was able to pull up beyond the arc, but he stepped on the line. And Burton with the quick release. Well, Willie Burton 1 for 10 in the Hawks' last game against the Charlotte Hornets, and not in the starting lineup tonight, but hit that 3. Atlanta leads by 6 on the turnover. Back comes Rick Kasner. And a foul is called as Smith is met. Foul committed by Ward. That is his first. The Knicks with their 3rd team foul. Here comes Dikembe Mutombo. So Mutombo back, replacing Newbill. And a travel called on Rick Kasner.
Both teams being victimized by turnovers here. Undoubtedly, both coaches not happy with a turnover like that really wasn't forced.
Following tonight, the Knicks with 3 days of rest. They'll be practicing, of course, but no games on the schedule until Thursday night against the Timberwolves in Minneapolis. And then Saturday back home for the Orlando Magic. And Burton once again looking for the 3. That was the same spot. Foul is called. Rick Kasner a bit too aggressive against Ward. So the Hawks with their third team foul.
Part of the game plan of pressure on the Knicks guards. Rick Kasner overreacting somewhat way in the backcourt.
Atlanta will play again on Thursday, home for the Chicago Bulls on Thursday. 6-point Hawk lead. 5 minutes in, second quarter. Allen Houston with the open shot.
Nice move by Houston. It appeared that he was going to go from one side to the other, but he changed direction under the basket and came straight out to the foul line for that pass. Defense wasn't expecting that.
Houston 3 of 6. He has 7 points. Burton. And Houston reaching for that rebound. Ewing being hand checked by Mutombo. Finding Ward. Ward in traffic gave it up. Here's Buck Williams giving it back. Ewing could not hit that side angle jump shot. And Patrick Ewing now 2 of 6 from the field.
That's where you like to use the backboard so you don't have to be so delicate on the shot.
Here's Steve Smith. A high arcing baseline jump shot by Smith.
No one has found the secret to bothering Smith down low as he continues to post up effectively.
Atlanta with a 36-30 lead. Smith has 10 points. Ewing for Ward. 3-point attempt. Yes. Charlie Ward hitting on his first shot attempt, and it cuts the Hawk lead to 3. The odd stat here in the first half, the combination of Ewing and Mutombo combining for just 1 rebound, and Mutombo has that 1 rebound. Now Mookie Blaylock returns along with Henry James, replacing Rick Kasner and Burton.
Hawks continue to play 3-man basketball when they come down court. 2 men away from the ball on the other side, so that gives 2 Knick defenders a little time off.
Ward got the step. Oh, he had nowhere to go. Just fired one up. He was hoping to draw the foul.
Well, Dikembe Mutombo appeared all of a sudden after everything was fine until the 7-2 Mutombo appeared to Charlie Ward.
Charles Oakley getting set to return. Smith, bad pass. Threw it into a crowd. Here comes Starks.
Houston made a nice play as that defense rotated to cause that turnover for Atlanta.
Ewing with the hesitation move. That's about as close to a walk as possible. But not called, and it leads to an Atlanta foul. Foul on James, his 3rd. And here is Oakley for Williams.
Well, here's Patrick going one-on-one. And he skips his way in for that short left-handed hook, but thankfully for the Knicks, Buck Williams was right there.
Ivano Newville back for Christian Laettner. Laettner with 7 points early, but has been quiet. But Laettner also has 4 rebounds and 4 assists. The Knicks with the ball down by 3. Larry Johnson has just checked back in for Charles Oakley. Patrick Ewing. And Ewing struggling here in the first half. 2 of 8 from the field. Last touch by the Hawks. And now the officials confer. Well, apparently one of the officials said last touch by the Knicks, and they are giving it to the Knicks. It was last touch by Atlanta. Johnson can't find anybody and calls a timeout. Just did avoid the 5-second violation. So the Knicks forced to take time with 4:18 left first half.
You ever look at all?
Dikembe Mutombo in his 6th NBA season out of Georgetown, one of the surprise free agent signings of the offseason. Mutombo deciding to ink the pact, John, with the Atlanta Hawks. He said one of the reasons he wanted to play for Lenny Wilkens. We asked him about that.
Lenny's a really great guy, and I enjoy myself. He's like a player coach, and someone is closer to his player than anybody that I've been around with. I'm enjoying myself out there. It's helping me offensively to create more offensive move than I ever have before. He's helping me touch the ball more in the offense, and he's asking my teammate to throw the ball, and so we can create a lot of stuff in our defense and our offense. So I'm playing what he's asking me to do, but I'm just very happy to be part of his team.
And the end result, Dikembe Mutombo has played very well. Even the offense has picked up, although that's not the case thus far tonight. Oakley from long range, following up on the Allen Houston jump shot, and the Hawks now lead 38-37, and both teams are shooting 50%. Hawks 16 of 32, the Knicks 15 of 30, and both clubs also hitting the three-point shot. Kept alive, Smith for James, three-point attempt. Saved by Houston. Good play by Houston. 3-on-2. He takes all the way. Houston missed the tip. And back comes Blaylock. Met by Ward. And he'll reset.
Ward continues to put good pressure on Blaylock.
Just under 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Smith with the ball fake. Got it to Mutombo and almost deflected in. And here comes Ward. But the Hawks got back. Johnson couldn't handle it. And a foul is called. It is against Mutombo. The correction, Steve Smith called on the foul his first. Now Charlie Ward sits down. Chris Childs is back.
Charlie has done a nice job now, 3 games in a row, spelling Chris Childs.
Played particularly well against the 76ers Friday night in Philadelphia. Did a good job on Allen Iverson. Hit some clutch free throws. 6 for 6 overall at the line.
Larry Johnson, speaking of free throws in the latter stages of the game Saturday against the Pistons, hitting 3 out of 4 from the line at crucial moments.
Well, Larry Johnson putting the Knicks up by 1. First time the Knicks have led. 2.5 to go, first half.
Well, the Hawks not getting to the line here in the first half. Only have 2 foul shots, both by Mookie Blaylock.
Oh, Steve Smith able to get to that loose ball. Patrick Ewing could not hold on, and the Hawks lead 40-39. Mutombo and Ewing in a battle down low. Mutombo just called that to the attention of the official. Houston. Ewing with the rebound. And Patrick Ewing now 2 for 9. He's missed his last 6 shots. Johnson passing on the shot. Oakley changed his mind and then hit.
All the moves look good when the ball goes in the basket.
Knicks by 1 with 1:40 left in the first half. The Atlanta Hawks 10 wins the last 13 games. They've won 15. They've lost 9. They come off a loss to the Charlotte Hornets. They had won 5 in a row, but Lenny Wilkens' club has played well. He certainly has been satisfied with their defensive effort. Got more to the three-point shot. Childs for 3. And it's rescued by Houston. Draws the foul. Allen Houston getting involved here tonight. More aggressive, going to the boards. And it has paid off. He drew the foul on Steve Smith.
Yes, there are many things a player like Houston can do to be valuable other than shoot. I mean, he's here because of his shooting ability. But the more he can do, like the example he just showed, the more important he becomes to this team.
Allen Houston with 5 rebounds in this first half. Well, coming up, the Tri-State Jeep and Eagle halftime report. Bob Page at the MSG Sports Desk. And Alan Clyde will take a look at the halftime highlights. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer. Knicks by 3, 1 minute left in the first half. Mutombo. Well, Dikembe Mutombo with the jump hook over Patrick Ewing. That's only his second field goal. He has 4 points. We're down to 47 seconds in the half.
Charles Oakley fooling around with us here with that basketball.
Charles,
almost gave me a
little dipsy doodle move, trying to whack you in the head with the ball. Charles has a very perverted sense of humor. Oh, the rejection by Mutombo.
I think it was playful, though, thankfully.
And Mutombo enjoyed that block shot. That was his first of the night. Squaring up, Ewing let him take the shot. Lack of respect for the outside touch of Dikembe.
Yes, that's a defensive statement of show it to me, baby.
We're down to 10 seconds in the half. The Knicks by 1. Childs for 3. 3 and 8/10 seconds to go. Knicks lead at 46-42. Childs with his third 3-pointer of the night. Blaylock. And that's the end of the half. Good one here at the Garden. It's the Knicks 46 and the Hawks 42. Childs, the high point man for the Knicks with 12. Smith leading the Hawks with 12.
State Jeep and Eagle halftime report on MSG. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer. We're turning the network over now to Walter McCarty, rookie of the Knicks, a multi-talented man who can play the piano and sing to get us in the holiday spirit. Here's a listen.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops listen and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow.
I believe that was a cappella without accompaniment, and I think he sounds a little like Stevie Wonder, Marvin John.
Very nicely done. He sang the national anthem prior to the Kentucky-Indiana game. Back in January of '93, Walter McCarty, a star for Rick Pitino at Kentucky, and his dream is to do it before a Knick game here at the Garden.
Well, based on what we see, it looks like that may happen, or I should say what we hear. That was Allen Houston to open up the second half. He has a very nice sound.
And the Knicks have their biggest lead of the game. They are up 48-42. Walter McCarty also plays the piano, and like yourself, favors rhythm and blues.
You happen to be right on that one, Marv.
Leitner just did get it off before the 24-second buzzer. Beautiful play by Blaylock to keep it alive. Here's James for 3. Henry James with his third 3-pointer. Knicks 48 and the Hawks 45. Both clubs shot 45% from the field in the first half, and both clubs looking for the 3-point shot. Knicks 6 of 11 and the Hawks 5 of 12 in the first half. Here is Ewing. Well, Patrick Ewing missed his last 6 shots in the second quarter. Now 3 of 10, but he opens up with that jumper.
What a setup by Oakley, who drove his man inside looking like he was going to take the shot and then gave it up to Ewing, who had a long look at the hoop. Meanwhile, Blaylock responds by driving strong to the basket and drawing a foul.
Foul committed by Childs. That is his first, and Blaylock to the line. Mookie Blaylock spent 3 years with the New Jersey Nets. This is his 5th season with Atlanta. He was acquired by the Hawks in one of the steal trades of all time for Ramil Robinson. That was back in 1992. Knicks lead 50-47. Minute and a half gone by, 3rd quarter. Charles Oakley had a big first half off the boards with 9 rebounds. Allen Houston. And Oakley quick to the ball. Ewing. Blaylock getting the screen, not able to use it.
Boy, you see a play like Oakley just made, you know he got a good night's sleep last night.
What are you saying, John?
I mean,
on other nights he's
no, but
out late.
It was a spectacular rebound.
We'll have to check with Charles on that one. Foul is called as Mutombo looked to put up the follow.
Well, the energy he put forth coming halfway across the court with perfect timing. I mean, you don't run across the court like that for a rebound unless you're really feeling your oats.
3rd foul on Charles Oakley. John will be charting the bed checks now on Charles from now on. Knicks lead by 3 points. Leitner way off. Allen Houston. Allen Houston with his 6th rebound. What a night of sleep it must have been for Allen.
Now you're catching on.
And a hand check foul on Leitner. For Leitner, his 1st foul. Knicks with Childs and Houston at the guards. Oakley, Ewing, Johnson up front. Nice pass. And Larry Johnson thanks Charles Oakley.
Yes, they're really understanding each other much better now when you see plays like that quickly executed with good timing.
3 assists apiece for Oakley and Johnson. Reach-in foul. Ewing trying to break it up. And in doing so, collects his 3rd. The Knicks very quickly have picked up 3 fouls. 3 team fouls. And Blaylock back at the line.
Blaylock having just a terrific year thus far. Shooting the ball better than he ever has before. Although he's not a high percentage shooter career-wise, he's in the low 40s, but it's better than it's been throughout his career. Also matching his best year at 17 and 2.2 per game. A lot of points. In fact, this year he had his career high in a game earlier in November of 39 points in a win over the very tough Cleveland Cavaliers.
Not a good free throw shooter, though. 64% at the line. Mookie, the only Atlanta Hawk who's gone to the foul line tonight. Oakley. Charles Oakley being given too much room by Christian Leitner. Did not even come out to contest that shot, and Lenny Wilkens was upset. Leitner just looked away and then was looking to go to the boards. So it was an open shot for Oakley, and the Knicks now lead 54-48. 22nd timeout taken by Atlanta.
Well, Lenny Wilkens at work. One of the least demonstrative coaches in professional sports. Amazing. It's kind of nice for mankind to see a guy can be under control as much as Lenny Wilkens is and be a very successful coach. He doesn't draw attention to himself and his style. He's very clear with his points. He makes his points and he gets through, which is a big statement about his respect that he gets. And recently there was a voting of the 10 top coaches in NBA history from a poll of media members. And Lenny Wilkens was right there among the best of the best.
Well, he's won more NBA games than any other coach. Coached the NBA champion Seattle Supersonics back in '78, '79, and a Hall of Famer. He's both a player and coach.
That's quite a distinction.
Christian Leitner getting very deep for that shot. Nice move by Leitner, and the Knicks lead is now 4. 4 minutes gone by, third quarter. And as Oakley cuts to the basket, he was hit by James. That's number 4 on James.
On the subject of top 50, Marv, the controversial list of top 50 players of all time was announced as you were part of the announcement a couple of months ago, and Lenny Wilkens was one of the top 50 players of all time in a vote as well. So player and a coach, the only one in NBA history to be among the top 50. What a distinction.
Allen Houston playing Steve Smith effectively, made him give up the ball. And now Houston switching off to Blaylock. Childs in a battle with Smith, and Childs called for the foul. Chris Childs picks up his second.
Very tough defense inside by Childs, battling the taller man, getting in front of him.
Way off. Henry James trying to fire one from three-point land, and then Steve Smith with the follow. So the Knicks lead 54-52. And a holding foul. It's number 5 on James. And he'll sit down. He has 11 points, which is a season high, but having his difficulty defensively, and he'll be replaced by Willie Burton. Willie Burton in his 6th year. University of Minnesota, one-time #1 draft pick of the Miami Heat, and moved on to play with the Philadelphia 76ers. He had that 53-point game for Philly a couple of seasons back. Johnson, offensive foul. It's a charge on Larry Johnson.
Larry Johnson forcefully going to the basket. He wants it bad. He wants that move to work on a regular basis here. Leighton, very aware of what he's going to do, move his feet back to take away that space that Johnson was after.
Second personal committed by Johnson. Blaylock backed it up and then beat Ewing off the dribble. What a move by Mookie Blaylock.
Tremendous speed and determination by Blaylock.
Knicks want a timeout. So the Hawks have come from behind, trailing by 6 points. Just moments ago, they've tied it at 54.
Remember when you're having good times with good friends and seeing yourself on the overhead sign, to drink responsibly, because friends know when to say when. A reminder from your friends at Budweiser. I got distracted by that young man being very excitedly looking at himself on our overhead sign here, Marv.
Overhead sign?
Camera upstairs, you know.
Basically,
the big screen. The big screen.
Big screen is what you're grasping for.
Right, that's what I'm grasping for.
But he may have seen himself on the overhead sign as well. Some nights when you don't get enough sleep, the words come slowly, John. Something that you and Charles Oakley can relate to.
That's when you become a passer.
Patrick Ewing. And the Knicks now lead 56-54. 6:20 left in the third quarter. Blaylock and Smith in the backcourt. Leitner, Mutombo, Burton up front. Burton coming off the screen. And an offensive foul is called. Illegal pick. Steve Smith is trying to set up Willie Burton. And that's 3 on Smith. Van Gundy has a backcourt of Childs and Houston. Ewing up front with Oakley and Johnson. Ewing trying to get good position on Mutombo. And pops it back out. Childs eluding Blaylock. Rebounded by Ewing, took it right out of the hands of Mutombo, who is staring at the official, Joe DeRosa. He felt he was fouled by Ewing.
That's a terrific play by Ewing in pursuing that basketball after Blaylock made a fine play, also double teaming and getting back to guarding his man.
The Knicks by 4 points. Mutombo, as Ewing digs in, gives it up. Blaylock on a pick and roll. Mutombo. Johnson rebound. Mutombo now 2 for 7 from the field. Illegal defense for the second time called on the Hawks. Lenny Wilkins debating the call. And that will be a technical foul presented to the Knicks. Allen Houston will shoot the tee. He is 2 of 2 at the line. 14 points for Houston. The Knicks 59 of the Hawks 54. This is the first of 4 meetings between the Knicks and the Hawks this season. Last year Atlanta won 2 of 3. Here at the Garden, Knicks have dropped the last 2 games to the Atlanta Hawks. Just under 5 minutes remaining, third quarter. Houston. And the ball will go to Atlanta.
Houston got that Ewing picking, and all of a sudden it was just him and his man. He had a good look at the basket. There's our Toyota matchup with Ewing and Mutombo. Ewing winning the battle of the points. Both players with very low rebounding number at 3 each.
Smith. And here comes Childs. Accelerates and lost it. Leitner right back. Blaylock for 3. And the tip right off the palm of Steve Smith.
Well, Smith is a guard by definition, but he thinks big, and he'll go in under the boards with his 6'8" frame and hurt people.
Knicks 59, Hawks 56. And a pushing foul. Mutombo picks up his first. Both teams with 4 team fouls. Look at this Atlanta roster. They have certainly improved from a year ago. Gone are Stacey Augmon and Grant Long, who were key players in the past for the Hawks. Ewing. And Leitner with the pushing foul to deck Oakley. So the Hawks are now over the foul limit. Both Augmon and Long now with Detroit. The Hawks were clearing salary cap room.
Oakley super tough on the boards tonight, competing. He's a double-figure rebounder already in the game, and he got that inside position, and he's just been a very difficult person for Leitner to deal with.
Oakley to the line for the first time. 79% free throw shooter. Knicks over the last 4 games have picked up the foul shooting. John Starks making his way. Reporting back, replacing Allen Houston. 14 points, 6 rebounds for Houston. Played well. The Knicks 60 and Atlanta 56. Just under 4 minutes to go. Third quarter. Leitner gets inside. Nice quick pass from Blaylock. And Leitner with 11. It's a 2-point Knick lead.
Boy, Leitner keeps it simple with a move like that as well.
Ewing comes over to set the pick. Shot clock at 4. Childs for 3. And Leitner with the box out.
Tell you, Leitner for 6'11" can move those feet well on defense. Larry Johnson is finding it very difficult to break him down when he puts the ball on the floor.
John, the Atlanta Hawks past few years one of the better offensive rebounding teams, but the truth is they have shot so poorly in the past. Look out. Foul is called. That had a domino effect. Larry Johnson called for the foul. The Hawks have been a poor shooting ball club, so they get more opportunities off the glass than most teams, and that helps the offensive rebounding stats. Timeout is called.
And the Hawks come in tonight having won 10 of their last 13 games. A lot due to this big man, Dikembe Mutombo, moving over from Denver for big bucks. Look at the statistics last season. versus this season. Points allowed down 11 for the Atlanta Hawks. Their opposing field goal percentage, 42% they're allowing their opponents to shoot at versus 47. Shot blocks are much higher this year, and the rebounding is a plus instead of a minus for the Atlanta Hawks. There's a lot of pride now with this team when it comes to the subject of defense.
Willie Burton fouled in the act of a three-point shot. 3 free throws offered up. Certainly a dramatic difference defensively, and they have played better defensively, but I think the whole tone of the league and what has happened in terms of the scoring totals being lower also contributing to that turn by Atlanta. Atlanta held Miami to a 21-point half back in mid-November, though. That's an NBA record, fewest points scored in the second half. That's unbelievable. 21 points in a half. Johnson for 3, just did graze the rim. Hawks by 1 with 2:25 to go in the third. Marv Albert, John Andres, Al Troutlick from Madison Square Garden. Following tonight, Knicks with 3 days between games. They'll face the Timberwolves in Minneapolis on Thursday, the former home of the man with the ball, Christian Laettner. Laettner goes into a series of moves and comes up short. It's a 24-second violation.
Meanwhile, that last shot attempt by Larry Johnson was only his 4th of the game.
This after all the discussion regarding Larry Johnson being back into the offense. That has not been the case tonight. It was the last 2 games, but as you mentioned, only 4 shots. He's hit 2 of 4, 6 points. Starks, John Starks, giving the Knicks a 1-point lead. But looking at the other point of view, Larry Johnson does not look to force the issue. Some guys in his spot with his stature from what he's done in the past. Good play by Starks, but Smith was able to maintain possession, and the Hawks now lead by 1. But Larry Johnson does not force shots. If it's not there, he doesn't take it.
Yes, and he's also being played very well by Laettner tonight. That was a beautiful move.
Oh, on the inbounds attempt, Oakley had to hold back as Childs and Burton got involved, and Burton just fell down. He felt he was pushed by Childs, and here's Childs.
Childs couldn't resist an immediate statement and retort.
And now it's Burton's chance. Starks in the open floor, has Ewing on the wing, feeds Ewing, and he was pushed from behind. Foul committed by Burton, and Ewing will go to the line.
Ewing visibly disappointed that he didn't make that one. Nice setup, though. Let's take a look at the Marriott Marquis Sky Cam. Burton on that miss. The bounce goes right into Starks' hand. He sees Ewing running the court hard. He places that ball up nicely for Patrick. Almost makes it, but it rolls off the front of the rim.
Charlie Ward has come on, replacing Chris Childs. 12 points for Childs. The game is tied at 63 with 1:02 remaining third quarter. So the Knicks lead by 1. Laylock setting it up, has Mutombo up high. Mutombo able to pick off Ward. And again, it's Oakley with the rebound. 11 rebounds for Charles Oakley. Starks, 3-point attempt by John Starks. Down to 25 seconds in the quarter. The Knicks with a 1-point lead. Laylock lost Ward off the screen. And Ewing with the rebound, protecting, and was fouled. Foul on Burton. And I make that Laettner his 3rd. Hawks over the foul limit, so Ewing to the line. Allen Houston checking in, replacing Larry Johnson. Patrick Ewing, 3 of 4 at the free throw line. Ewing a 74% foul shooter. And Eldridge Ricastner has come on for Willie Burton. Ricastner has had the hot hand from three-point range. Has not attempted a shot tonight. He's hit 7 of his last 8, 14 of the last 19 from three-point range.
Boy, he burned the Nets on Friday night, 4 out of 4.
Final seconds of the third. Blaylock. Down to 2, 1. Too late. Hawks not able to get the shot off in time. That won't count. So after 3 quarters, it's the Knicks 66 and the Atlanta Hawks 63. Madison Square Garden as we take a look at our Coke Classic play, which features the Atlanta Hawks. Last Tuesday in Dallas, they set an NBA record with 19 three-pointers. This is Mookie Blaylock, who was 7 of 10 from three-point range. 7 three-pointers in a single game, ties his career high. Eldridge Ricastner from downtown, and Willie Burton hit 4 out of 4, and this set the record of 19 in a game. The previous record, 18. That was accomplished by Dallas twice last season. 19 three-pointers in a single game by the Atlanta Hawks, and they did it against the Dallas Mavericks. Fourth quarter underway. The Knicks with a 66-63 lead on Atlanta.
Of the top 10 shooters in the NBA from three-point range, none of them have made more than 60. And tonight, coming in, Mookie Blaylock has 67. So he can shoot them very, very much and very effectively. And that's Buck Williams with a nice tip in.
So the Knicks now lead by 5.
Blaylock makes 42% of his threes, which is a very high percentage.
Buck Williams trying to draw the foul, hit the floor. Ricastner for Leitner. And a battle for that rebound leading to the whistle. Bob Delaney with the call. Kemby Mutombo shaken up. Took a shot on the nose from Buck Williams. That's 2 on Buck. Non-shooting foul. Leitner, Mutombo, and Burton up front. Ricastner and Smith in the backcourt. So Steve Smith is now operating at the point guard position. Leitner forcing, played well by Oakley, and deflected out. Last touch by the Knicks. The Hawks have missed their last 7 shot attempts.
We're seeing another example of Buck Williams' value as a low post defender. At 6'8", he's dealing with someone 6 inches taller than him, and seemingly having the same effectiveness as he always has. Nobody has it easy with Buck Williams.
Henry James replacing Christian Leitner, leaves with 11 points. James playing with 5 fouls. Starks with a tough assignment against Smith. Oh, Oakley had it knocked away. Smith thought he was fouled. Here's Buck Williams. Oh, went to the left hand and was able to bank it home.
I think that was instinctive, because had he gone with the right hand, he might have committed an offensive foul.
Steve Smith and Charles Oakley and John Starks all involved. And they are being kept apart by the officials. Meanwhile, the Knicks with an 8-0 run. They lead by 7 points. Looks like double technicals being called on Oakley and Smith.
Well, Smith going up for that shot, then he bumps with Oakley. I would think Smith wasn't happy. Let's take another look at this now as he posted up John Starks. Oakley with the clear rebound. Smith bumps him. Smith seemed to feel as though he was bumped a little extra hard by Oakley, but it didn't look that way.
And Mutombo is fouled by Starks. Hard foul by John Starks.
Go back to Charles Oakley and Smith at the end of that play. They kind of bump into each other. And then Oakley steps back, and Steve Smith kind of waves his hand at him. Smith is capable, and we've seen it many times, of being very verbal, very forceful, combative player. But he's had his head down tonight. He's been quiet until that little flurry with Charles Oakley.
Said a couple of disagreements over the years with Patrick Ewing, particularly as a member of the Miami Heat. Well, before those free throws by Mutombo, the Hawks had gone 3.5 minutes without a point. Knicks now lead 70-65. Starks. Hard driving move by John Starks, deflected out by the Hawks, who were contending it was actually last touched by Starks. But it will be Nick Ball with 10 on the shot clock. Williams able to save that inbounds pass. Shot clock at 5. Starks with the reverse. But he hit that. This place would have exploded. Beautiful move. Driving past Mutombo and then going to the reverse. Here's Smith. Mutombo is fouled. Hit by Oakley. And that's 4 on Oakley.
Well, Mutombo wasn't picked up, and he got some running room and came barreling in, and finally drew some attention. See Smith on the drive, and Mutombo came barreling in and created a real problem. No one had gotten in front of him.
Charles Oakley sitting down. 9 points, 12 rebounds. Knicks now go to Ewing up front with Buck Williams and 3 guards, Charlie Ward, Allen Houston, John Starks. Mutombo only a 68% free throw shooter, but he's 3 for 3 from the line tonight.
Hawks had their 5-game winning streak interrupted Saturday night against Charlotte, but what a game Mutombo had. 20 points, 13 rebounds, 9 block shots. 8 of the 13 were offensive rebounds as well.
The Knicks lead has been trimmed to 3. We are early 4th quarter. Knicks and Hawks meeting for the first time this season. Buck Williams with a spin is called for a traveling violation. The Atlanta Hawks at 15-9. They have won 7 of the last 10 games, 10 of the last 13. Tough stretch for the Hawks. Playing the Knicks here in New York tonight. Thursday home for the Chicago Bulls. Kastner rejected. Starks with the block. Houston for 3. Ewing, and a loose ball foul is called. Push out on Ewing. That is number 4. No more fouls, Jeff Van Gundy just said. That was the 4th team foul committed by the Knicks. Timeout is called. 8:43 to go. 4th quarter.
In a very busy period for the Knicks and for most of the NBA teams. Knicks get a couple of days off now. Our Delta Airlines upcoming Knicks schedule has the Knicks at Minnesota on Thursday. MCS Cannon game night at 7:30. Knicks have an 11-game winning streak going against Minnesota. Saturday they'll return home for an afternoon game against the Orlando Magic, and then Monday night here at Madison Square Garden the New Jersey Nets come to town. Game at Minnesota, by the way, will be seen on MSG2.
Tonight the Nets are playing in Chicago. They were leading the Bulls 32-16 at one point. Second quarter, late second quarter, the Bulls now lead 44-43. 8:43 to go here in the 4th quarter. And the Knicks lead the Hawks 70-67. Atlanta has not hit a field goal in nearly 5 minutes. Their only points have been at the free throw line.
Steve Smith wants that low post. Starks wouldn't give it to him.
Burton with a runner. And Ewing is hit as he rebounds. Loose ball foul. And that is the first team foul on Atlanta here in the fourth quarter. Number 4, though, on Smith.
Smith looked right over at the official and agreed. He concurred with that call as he bounced Patrick Ewing on that rebound. John Starks fighting Smith. Wouldn't give him any position to make himself a target for that basketball, and Smith then left the post area.
And Steve Smith sits down. Mookie Blaylock is back. Christian Laettner will return. And Houston is fouled. Fouled by Burton. Here is Laettner coming on for Willie Burton. Leads with 6 points. Hawks 0 for 6 in the fourth quarter. They have missed their last 10 shots and have gone over 5 minutes without a field goal. Ewing with the hesitation move on Mutombo.
Well, Mutombo has seen that move by Ewing enough. He did not go for the fake, but still he crowded Patrick. Made it tough for him.
Ewing's been off, though, 5 of 15 from the field. Mutombo tried the backdoor pass, picked off by Ward. Charlie Ward had it knocked away. Blaylock got a piece of it, and it led to that. Rick Kastner from Mutombo. Well, they call Mookie Blaylock the glove of the East. Gary Payton, of course, the glove of the West. And that the first field goal in over 6 minutes for the Atlanta Hawks.
2 Charlie Ward errant plays now, and the Hawks coming right back.
The Knicks now clinging to a 1-point lead with 5 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. Illegal defense called on the Knicks. That is their first violation.
Well, the glove of the East did just that to Charlie Ward, deflecting that ball, and it was all Hawks from there. As Rick Kastner sees Ward, but he just delivers that lead pass with a slam dunk. No problem for Mutombo, and then Charlie Ward forced another pass inside, which turned into a turnover. Now Charlie gets a rest, and Chris Childs is back on the court.
Blaylock leading Mutombo, who is met by Oakley, and for Oakley, that is number 5. And a decision for Jeff Van Gundy. Charles Oakley has been a very important player for the Knicks with 12 rebounds. Dikembe Mutombo, who has all 6 Hawk points this fourth quarter, and has been doing it at the free throw line. He has 1 field goal and 5 from the line. 5 of 5 at the foul line. Oakley on a box out and also took a shot to the back of the head. So Van Gundy staying with Oakley despite the 5 fouls. The game is tied at 70. Laettner knocks it out of bounds. We have 6.5 remaining in the fourth quarter. The Knicks trying to continue the good play at home after the slow start in the early portion of the season. They've won 6 straight, 7 of the last 8 here at the Garden. Rick Kastner on that foul, trying to poke it away from Childs. So Dikembe Mutombo with all 7 points for Atlanta. He's on a 7-0 run, John.
For all of Oakley's aggressive play, he's only fouled out of 1 game this season. Dikembe very happy here with the Hawks, because when he was in Denver, you remember how he was not part of the offense. His job was to set picks for people. They didn't use him at all.
For good reason. But you got to keep him happy. I mean, that's the whole.
That's what how big men rebound better when they're part of the offense. And now he's getting his 14 a game.
Allen Houston is fouled. Charles Oakley on the recoil hitting the floor. Foul committed by Laettner, his 3rd personal.
Nice drive. All that baseline was wide open for Allen Houston as he draws the foul. Houston sizing things up. People tend to think he's going to shoot the jumper all the time, and that's where a move like that, his ability to put the ball on the floor so effectively, paid off.
You know, it's amazing, John, about a guy like Dikembe Mutombo, who's obviously a very skilled athlete. I mean, you wonder how hard he works in the offseason on offensive moves, because he has not improved at all at that end of the court in his 6 years in the league. Allen Houston, in a rare situation, missing both free throws, but last touched by Atlanta.
Yes, he is rather statuesque in his moves and just goes to the hook shot once in a while.
Houston. Allen Houston with a beautiful drive. 16 points for Houston.
That had the look of some anger and viciousness in a positive way by Allen Houston. He was strong.
James, air ball. And back comes Childs. Knicks lead by 2. 5:45 to go in the fourth. Open shot for Oakley. Oakley fronting Leitner, but has to be careful. He's playing with 5 fouls. Leitner, see Oakley stepped away, and was fortunate that Leitner, who perhaps was expecting some pressure, did not score. Childs, Ewing with the rebound and banks it home. Knicks lead 74-70. The Hawks take a timeout. Lenny Wilkins unhappy that Ewing fouled himself with that loose ball. All right, Bob, Chicago Bulls coming into tonight at 23-3 and seeking their 7th straight win. Well, the crowd urging the Knicks on. A 4-point Knick lead as we come up on 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Laylock pressured by Childs. Mutombo, shot clock at 7. Ricaster for 3. And rebounded by Oakley.
Boy, Jeff Van Gundy has to be happy about the intensity that the Knicks are putting on the shooters. Everything seems to be contested by the Knicks on defense.
Ewing going one-on-one with Mutombo and went to the fadeaway. Not a good shot, but handled by Starks. Ewing is now 6 for 17. Starks, yes. John Starks extends to a 76-70 lead. 9 points for Starks.
Nothing like extra shots at the basket. Charles Oakley, that last rebound, got number 15, tying a season high.
Leitner. Shot was blocked. Here's Childs with Smith back and drew the foul. Number 5 on Steve Smith, and it also puts the Hawks over the limit.
Leitner with that shot attempt. John Starks right in the middle of the big people. Head up, sees the man in front of him. That's Childs. Steve Smith clobbers him, holds him. And good sportsmanship demonstrated by both players in response to that physical play by Smith.
Childs 1 of 2 at the free throw line. Just Childs with his first point. The second half. Hawks led by 2 after 1. Knicks with a 4-point lead at halftime, led by 3 entering the fourth quarter. Atlanta went into the drought without a field goal for over 5 minutes. And the Knicks now lead by 8. It is their biggest lead of the night. 3.5 to go in the fourth. 8-0 run by the Knicks. Leitner fires it up. And Childs for the rebound.
Well, this is where the Hawks hurt as far as offense goes, with Mutombo essentially not a big scorer. So they're going strictly to that perimeter game now, the Atlanta Hawks.
Blaylock met by Starks. And then decides to regroup. Leitner spinning his way. Leitner again. Oh, he's having a rough time. Got off to the fast start. He is now 6 for 17 from the field.
Made a couple of nice moves on that play as well.
And the Hawks 1 for the last 18 from the field. Timeout is called. Chris Childs has to be ushered aside, having words with Dikembe Mutombo. Mutombo waving at Childs, saying, "Come on over." And Childs ushered aside by teammates. 2:33 left in the fourth quarter.
At Marquise Sky came with the action under the basket. You see Childs on the left. He's in there, and he gets a shot to the jaw. What a shot. And he wasn't very happy. That was Mutombo who clobbered him. He wanted to go over and tell Mutombo that he didn't appreciate it. Plus Mutombo feels it wasn't personal. He was just moving his arms. The New York Marriott Marquis, Broadway's biggest hit. That was such a clear shot to the jaw that Childs felt it was intentional.
The Atlanta Hawks with only 1 field goal the last 10 minutes, 59 seconds. 1 for the last 18. So the Knicks lead is 8. With 2.5 remaining in the fourth quarter, they trap Oakley, and it's stolen by Leitner. Oakley not getting any help, couldn't find anyone. Leitner went down and is called for a travel. But he slipped on a wet spot. And a tough run for Christian Leitner. He's missed his last 8 shots.
Boy, this game is sliding away from Lenny Wilkins' team. Mutombo, the only scorer for Atlanta here in the fourth quarter. That's amazing with 7 points.
Childs looking to beat Blaylock off the dribble and try to call for time while he was in midair. It's a traveling violation. He got caught. So the ball back to the Hawks. The Knicks have outscored Atlanta. Not that the Knicks are burning it up either in this fourth quarter. They have 12 points. Atlanta with 7. All 7, as you mentioned, by Mutombo. Just under 2 minutes remaining in the fourth. Blaylock. Leitner. Oh, the Hawk problems continue. Starks picking to Childs. Childs is fouled by Blaylock.
Childs is really a tough player. There was no way he was going to be deterred from going to the basket. Starks finds him. Good look ahead by John Starks once again. And Childs just stays with the move until he draws the foul. And Blaylock's so tough also for attacking Childs as he did.
And a rough night physically for Chris Childs, who has taken a number of shots. 3 of 4 at the line tonight. Meanwhile, Atlanta now 1 for their last 20 from the field. They have not connected on a field goal in 12 minutes. That's unbelievable, John. That is equal to a quarter. Of course, that goes back to the third quarter.
You know, I think you're right.
Yes.
Meanwhile, what a statement about the Knicks defense. They lifted it up big time, contesting everything.
And a timeout is called. The Hawks take time. Leitner 0 for 9 in the fourth quarter. One of a host of Atlanta Hawks having problems with the shooting touch. A minute 34 remaining in the fourth quarter. The Knicks with a 79-70 lead on the Hawks. Hawks have 1 timeout left. Knicks have 2 and a 20. Horrendous shooting by Atlanta here in the fourth quarter. 1 for 16. The only field goal was early fourth by Mutombo. And going back to the final minutes of the third quarter, the Hawks have hit 1 for the last 20. A very solid 6% shooting, as you saw in this fourth quarter.
Well, the Hawks are known for their defense, led by Lenny Wilkins, but defense can be so good, but if the ball isn't going in the basket, that's a major problem.
Yes. And the Knicks defense has been very solid. They've contributed to that. Although it's a combination of some poor shots by Atlanta, the bad shooting, and the good defense. Ewing on the foul to put Smith at the line. That's 5 on Ewing. So 5 apiece on Ewing and Oakley. Oakley's been able to hang in playing with the 5 fouls.
You like that in a player, particularly one as aggressive as Oakley. I always remember the days of Dave Cowens with the Celtics when he would get 5 fouls in the third quarter and end up playing the whole game or the rest of the way. It's really an art form to be able to still be effective and not get that 6th foul. Meanwhile, Ewing just showed his energy level, coming out as he always does to double team the guard with great energy with 1 minute and 22 to go in the game. He made a good play too. From his perspective, it didn't look like he fouled the man, but he made a very energetic play, breaking up that attempt by Atlanta.
Trying to check through the record books to see, since the inception of the 24-second clock, what the record is for fewest field goals in a quarter. Starks, and rebounded by Leitner. 7-point Knick lead. 1 minute to go in the fourth quarter.
I would think they want the threes now. They shoot them well.
Laylock for Smith. Shot clock at 5. Hawks taking too much time. Now Smith for 3. And a loose ball foul against Atlanta. It's on Leitner. That's his 5th. Hawks over the limit next to the line. So Atlanta on that missed 3 by Smith. Now 1 for 17 from the field in this fourth quarter.
Well, I've never seen Leitner so unemotional. He usually shows some kind of emotion on the court. And tonight, every call, he just puts his head down, good or bad, and walks down to the other end of the court. Plays hard, though, a very talented player.
Acquired last February from Minnesota, along with Sean Rooks in the deal for Andrew Lang and Spud Webb. Finally made it to the playoffs, but forced to play out of position. You recall at center, went up against Rick Smith. Did a good job as Atlanta upset Indiana. Then he had to go up against Shaquille O'Neal and actually played him well, but the Magic had too much at that time, and they knocked off the Hawks.
Just looking ahead to Minnesota, I bet Stephon Marbury is excited about Thursday's game against the Knicks. He didn't make that game here in New York. He had that twisted ankle earlier.
Yes, the product of Abraham Lincoln High School in Brooklyn. Grew up as a Knicks fan, following the club very closely, and you know is excited about going up against his hometown team. The Knicks 81 and the Hawks 72, down to 35 seconds in the fourth. Here's Smith, and it's a goaltender. The Hawks will take it. That is only their 2nd field goal of the fourth quarter. 2 of 18 overall.
That was John Starks way up in the air, slapping that shot away.
7-point Knick lead. Half-minute remaining, fourth quarter. Starks being hounded by Burton. Knicks in no hurry. Hawks will have to foul, even though they are over the limit. Well, they're not fouling. And Knicks just hold out of the ball. Finally, Burton was able to give the foul to send Starks to the line with 15 seconds remaining. Down by 7, you got to take the shot and commit the foul, and Hawks waited too long. So here's Starks shooting a pair. He's 2 for 2 at the line. Again, a major contribution by John Starks off the bench. He has 11 points.
Yes, he's been asked to do many roles tonight, and most recently now getting that ball up the court.
The Knicks 82, Atlanta 74. And for the third straight home game, it's been a good one. Earlier in the season, not too much in terms of entertainment value in the games played here at Madison Square Garden, but a terrific game last Tuesday between the Knicks and Utah. The game Saturday night with Detroit, and this is a good one here this evening. Smith for three. Final seconds. Leitner. So the Hawks finish up with 3 field goals for the fourth quarter, and the Knicks with the 82-76 win over the Atlanta Hawks to go 19-7 on the season. That is their third straight win, and they have won 10 of their last 11. In the fourth quarter, the Knicks with only 16 points, and the Hawks with 11. And the Knicks, for the moment, in a first-place tie with Miami. Miami is playing at San Antonio, and in the second quarter, they lead the Spurs by 10 points. Again, the final, the Knicks 82 and the Hawks 76. We'll be back to wrap it in a moment.